Welcome once again to Coffee and Bonsai with Tom. Today I have an interesting tree. This is a Portulacaria afra, variegated, and it has kind of an interesting history. I acquired a bunch of these, and I'll show you a picture of that now. Through um, well, I think it was on a group through Facebook, but essentially it was a landscaper, professional landscaper who, these things grow like weeds in parts of California, and she is frequently called to remove them. And so she, takes the plants out, and then frequently sells a lot of them. And you can get them for, incredible prices. Now, when these arrived, I think it was one of the first times she had done much of this, and so there was a delay in shipping. So when they arrived, they were in bad shape. There were more leaves in the box than in the plant, and they were completely bare root. Um, but as you can see, that was it was getting towards the end of summer, and I didn't do much with them, and I just kind of did some basic trimming and put this in a pot. And I've had it indoors and under lights ever since. I kind of haven't really done any styling with it other than initial just kind of chopping off. It came with these huge limbs, and I wanted to get it to a size that I could put it on my shelves and easily manage it. So I sort of cut it back kind of hard, cut the roots back hard. I'm a big believer in get the roots and the big work under control early on before you invest tons of time in the plant. So basically, as you can see in the pictures, there's a fair amount of root there, and I cut those way back. I essentially just took a saw and cut it flat. And it's kind of a tall tree for my setup, so I'll sort of pan down a little bit, but you can see, do the coffee comparison here. It's a pretty good sized tree for me, and a nice deeper pot than what I normally use. Let me adjust this, and I'll show you the pot because I really like this pot as well. It's actually one of the first pots I really I guess what I'd say is first one of the nicer pots that I ever got. It's sort of a Japanese drum pot, and I actually bought a tree when I lived in. Let's go down a little lower so you can see a little better. You can see the drums on the bottom, and it has a chop on it. Although I don't want to try to manipulate the tree, so you can see that. But it's a basic clay pot, but I really do. I've always liked it, and I've had this pot for I don't know, 30 years now, and it was not new when I got it, but it came with a tropical tree in it. It was a really neat bonsai nursery in Dundalk, which is outside of Baltimore, and kind of right in the middle of this residential area in this city, and I really enjoyed going in there, and so I acquired a tree then, and the tree's long gone, but I still have the pot. So let's kind of move this back up and take a look at the tree itself. You can see I just did basic pruning on it. It's got a lot of growth. I've had it in just under my lights, which I think I have a video up where you can see that. But you get really good compact growth, and it's quite healthy. So I'm very happy with how the trees turned out. Now, it has a decent overall shape, but I really have to start making some decisions around, this is very confusing. There's like a huge stump here. Obviously I can remove, but I think I've got some bigger issues deciding, is this my main branch? I kind of like this coming off here, but how am I going to prune that? So I'm just waiting for it to continue to get healthier and healthier, and then one of these weekends when I'm bored, I'll have at it. But we'll spin it around and you can sort of get a good look at what's going on. I mean, it's kind of nice because I'm growing it out, so I have a lot of options when I decide what I want to do. And the tree was in such poor shape, I really do want it to run a bit and grow and, get very robust before I do much more to it. Although, I mean, it looks quite healthy to me now. I think I can certainly probably take some chances on it. But, some things like, do I want to keep it? Basically, if it has one, two, you can see this trunk, this trunk. If I go over here, there's this trunk, although this trunk, has some problems. There's this branch here that doesn't add much value. You can see this is almost a duplicate of this. So from this view, I could probably take that off and not impact the tree at all. And I think that would be an improvement. So I think I'll keep the 3 branches. And probably when I go at styling this thing, I will initially just, take off that crossing branch. I think I would probably take this off here because I think this can come out that way and it provides a room for that to grow. But I kind of like, this, maybe keeping this branch and shortening this. But we'll see. I mean, I'm still thinking about it, and it's just now really starting to bust out growth all over. So we'll see. Maybe some new options will show up if I give it another month or so to grow. This is something I do with these. I kind of like to wire it in because I had this outside, and it can get windy. It was outside for a good bit of fall, and these get marred up pretty easily. So I kind of put this plastic between them. I find this works even better than, for example, the thin tubing which I often sometimes use too. And I don't crank it down as tight as I would other trees. So yeah, I think you'll see more of this tree. I think for now, I'm just going to continue to make it healthy, and in fact, I probably will. You saw from the picture, I think I had 6 of these in different stages of, they were all kind of different sizes, but they all looked probably about the same age and about the similar poor condition, where they had very few leaves on them at all. It's a miracle that they lived at all, quite frankly. It's really a testament to these trees, here trees, and how tough they are. But I have some in the chiller. I've only got one of these under lights, and I'll tell you, I've been so happy with the results. I mean, this tree is, pretty robust looking. I'll do a video soon of some of the Island of Dr. Moreau stuff in the chiller area. And they're not going to die, but they're not thriving like this. And I think it's just too cold down there. I think the Portulacaria is like a little bit more warmth. I mean, they have plenty of light down there to grow and be healthy, but they don't really have the warmth that they need. And up here, because this is in the heated part of the house, and also the way my shelving is set up, where the shelves are sort of short and the light on the shelf below the plants is kind of like attached right below the shelf. So they're LED lights. They don't generate a ton of heat, but they definitely generate some heat, and it's probably about the perfect amount of heat that ports like, so that heat kind of comes up and heats up the plastic I have under the plants, and then you tend to get good root activity with water cuttings and everything else. So I'm thinking about, in fact, I think I just made up my mind I'm going to do it, because you can get these root warming pads very cheaply on Amazon. I'll put a link to those as well. You can check them out. And I think I just need some heat under there, down in the chiller room, to kind of raise that 10 degrees. What I think would be enough to kick up a little more activity. It's not like they don't grow, but it's glacial. So I think that will be something I try, because I've just been so happy with, I mean, when I put this outside in the spring, it's just going to go nuts. So I'm very happy with how this is recovered, and you can see, you know, a lot of, you know, you can tell the trunk, you know, it looks healthy and hard, right? Rather than this kind of shriveled up bit. You can see from the pictures in this video earlier, you know, these things were really, really dried out. And, you know, they're not that dried out now in the basement area, but, you know, they're not robust like this. So look for that in a future video. And, you know, I'm kind of excited to see if I provide, you know, 'cause I don't want to heat that area because it would be prohibitively expensive and, you know, kind of a waste. But I'm very curious to see how these root pads work. So look for that in a future video. And I hope you have a great week. Thanks for spending time with me, and I will see you on the channel again soon.